more than half for the meal. Okay? Stop complaining. Shut the fuck up. Stop talking about domestic violence. Stop whining about strip clubs. Stop whining about the disparity in pay. I mean, hell, if men get paid more and you don't want to be with the man, if that's the way the system goes, not that I say it's fair, but if it's like that, I mean, then maybe you should want a man. Maybe you should want a male lawyer. Hmm? You need a man to help you move your furniture. You need a man when you need your hedges trimmed. I'm not just talking about the ones in your drawers. You need a man when your toilet is stopped up. You need a man to put your appliances together because your asses are too lazy to read the instructions typically. Or that's the point where they put the shit together in the store when women started shopping. For men, they put the shit in the box until you fix it. When it's a woman, they assemble it because they needed men. Uh, Men know that they can't have children, and it's only the insane ones that think that somehow baby's going to float out of their behind one day. But it's interesting, women who have blood clots and hot flashes and menstrual cycles and menopause somehow feel that they aren't women. So, this isn't about not needing a man. This is about women being psycho jackasses. And you know what? I'm going to say something about men in this society. Men in this society have humored women for far too long around this dumb shit. We need to start telling them that it's fucked up. We don't like it. We hate it. We're not going to cooperate with it. We aren't talking about voting. I've spent a lot of my time, most of it unpaid, supporting women candidates and causes because half of society is female. You want women to be happy. Of course, the feminists will tell you that men only want women to be unhappy. And it's interesting, those same white feminists that have cooking women. I'm sorry, black American women, if this were a class of life about figuring out that there's no team sisterhood. There is a team white supremacy with the female auxiliary. There is no sisterhood. Even if you're having sex with a white woman, there's no sisterhood. Okay. You're still a black bitch. That's how they see you. When white gay men who you think are allies, when they want to clown and imitate someone, a lot of times they enjoy making fun of black women. You don't have any allies except for black men. You damn sure need a man, and you're really going to need a man when these damn migrants, a bunch of horny young men, they come from cultures where men don't take no for an answer from women, and they're putting them in your neighborhoods, and the police aren't arresting them. It's not like a black man. You can see him across the street and lie on a black man as many. If you do, and the police will come and do all kinds of stuff with no evidence, that treatment only exists for black American men. Once it gets to other men, black women don't really have many rights at all. And they should stop throwing it up in black men's faces that they've got some advantages, and instead employ those advantages to helping us all to move ahead. Sort of like Ida B. Wells did, one of the greatest black women of all times. Ida B. Wells needed men, and as a result, men loved Ida B. Wells. You'll hear men talk about Ida B. Wells more than women. And the lie is men don't respect women. No, men don't respect assholes of either sex. And just because you have a vagina doesn't make you respectable. Kamala Harris and Sexy Red and Lizzo and Oprah Winfrey are evidence of that. So you can have a whole lot of money, a lot of fame, and not be worth a damn and have a vagina. If a man can be a piece of shit when he's rich, the way that some of you ladies hate Donald Trump, well, then there's some sorry, shitty, no good women who might be successful in one way, but they suck as people. So not needing a man is a lie. It's an excuse. It's it's a terrible, terrible excuse, and nobody's buying it. The only people that buy it are the people who want you to kill babies, get divorced, commit suicide, be on psychotropic drugs, which many of you are. Yes, lots and lots. And we don't care on my channel if most of our listeners are men. We don't keep women from listening to this. This isn't like the women's thing. Have you ever tried to join a women's group online, Chef? And notice how they make certain that men can't be a part of it. It's only women. But when men have stuff, women are welcome. And yet men are the sexist assholes. The biggest, most discriminating people in this culture are women. Every day of the week. Women call it body shaming if you mention to her she weighs 400 pounds. But a man that's in reasonable shape but doesn't have beer cans is a couch potato. Well, what the hell is a 400-pound woman? Oh, that's right. She's beautiful. Bullshit. She's a slob with a pussy.
Hey, check it out, brother Dr. Short. We got my man Twizzle on this coming into the kitchen. He wants to cook up a little bit about what you're saying here.
Okay, well, bring,
You know, this is
bring, bring
this
him
is
on
the
in here.
kind of patriarchy energy we need tonight here for this program, brother
Mm-hmm.
Short. Because we're just getting started, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
It's pretty jam packed tonight. So Twiz, shout out to you coming into the kitchen real quick, joining us on the Angry Black Man's Book Club, Pat Talk number 7. What say you about what my brother Dr. Shaw was dropping those jewels just now for us? What do you say?
Man, I 100% agree, man. We need more men to talk about stuff like this because right now we are missing masculinity with a lot of men. You know, I see a lot of men are apologizing for being men, and that's
That's
the
right.
biggest mistake that they're doing right now. You know, my dad always told me that we are born in a generation of men that's raised by women. And he used to always say, boy, I feel sorry for you. And I asked him why. Could you guys hold on 1 second?
Mm.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, so that's an interesting take, brother Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Shaw. You
Well,
wanted to hold off for a second, but he said, he makes up some very valid points.
well, they need a man when they're getting carjacked. You need a man when someone snatches your purse. You need a man to help lift the shit to move into your house. You need a man to fix your water heater. You need a man to fix your air conditioner. You need a man to change your garbage disposal. You need a man to fix your car. You need a man to fly an airplane. You need a man to fix the bus that you rode on. You need a man to shoot. Get out my face. You know what? If a man got up in a room full of people and started saying how he didn't need women, you know what? People would call that man queer or a degenerate. We are
Right.
too kind when women are degenerate. I don't like that. That's one thing I hate about black American men. It's disgusting, black men. When a woman's got enough lesbian energy to be an Oprah Winfrey television special, and you look past it because she's a woman. And if Dwayne Wade has on toenail polish once, you got the whole picture. I'm not saying you'll get the whole picture for Dwayne Wade, but how come, folks, it's not established that Oprah's a stud that hates men? Why is that? So what more do you have to see Gail's pubic hair between Oprah's teeth to get an idea of where Oprah's coming from? I mean, come on. I mean, what's up? And why don't you know something about Gabriel Union? There's something wrong with her. What kind of woman offers up a boy to have his dick cut off?
Come
And
on,
y'all
we,
talking about
we
how
gonna wake
strong
up.
she is.
We got a lot to wake up
I mean,
today,
so
brother
now
Short.
but you know what? Gabriel Union was shoulders broader than Roger Staubach of the Dallas Cowboys back in the day. Um, you know, these broke back these broke back women out here that hate men, that hate babies, that are for every imaginable thing that would usurp order and they have a pussy, oh well, they're okay. And I'm gonna tell you something about. I have to say it's about black men. I don't feel sorry for some of them. They don't have any ethics or morals in terms of what they hold women to until someone destroys their ass in divorce court or child and family law court. Then all of a sudden, the shit that should be in their face is something that's terribly out of order. Then they get it. I've even seen guys who would be ready to blow your head off for accidentally looking in their direction. Even if you're in a bus or a train facing each other, stop looking at me, stop looking at my door, ready to kill you if you're a man. Woman steal everything from him, lie from him, and him go to court without getting a lawyer because he's trying to prove the woman who likes her. I've just seen some really despicable black men who are worms, who women should walk on because they're so goddamn weak. They have no respect for themselves or black men in general. I mean, they could kill every black man on this planet and put them in a situation with the woman, and they have no capacity to do what's right. Whether it's working a job, if they're a supervisor, the women can all come late. If you're a man, your ass better be there on time. Especially if you're a black man. He's going to destroy you for not being on time. You know what I'm talking about? But a woman come late, man, oh, it's all right, sweetie. Well, my children, I had to go to daycare. The bitch has never had a kid. She's sterile from HPV. She can come in late every day. He better not have a problem. But
Smoke breaks.
I can't stand, I mean, no, touch masturbation breaks. I mean, if whatever it is, they'll give it to a sister. I'm not saying they can't, but they have no capacity, no matter what the situation is, for to accord a man, even if he's a child. If you've ever been in public schools and the male teachers, if you had a black male teacher, they answered the female questions first. And they usually told the guy, work it out. No, motherfucker, you're the teacher. You're supposed to teach everyone. This kind of behavior that the boomers, same boomers, talk about how things are, they contributed to this. I just had to go off. I'm going to finish in a second for the brother that stepped away for a second. I was talking to a boomer, and he admitted that the Malcolm X grassroots organization and others have been hijacked by radical pork chop feminists, studs, and the Republic of New Africa. That all of these things now that you see, or you supposedly think of grassroots, they're now all run by studs everywhere. And they're the biggest saboteurs in our race. And you know what? He don't want to fight too hard because it's women. If it were men, he'd be called Clarence Thomas. You so it's a woman, nothing. And you know who knows this? The white folks who hate, who want to eliminate us. And they're not going to change their game. They keep running the same play, whether it's Kamala Harris, Sexy Red, this bitch Crockett down in Texas, whatever. They keep running these kinds of Cori Bush over and over and over again because, you know, even going back to the Black Panthers, they knew that they could use Elaine Brown and other sisters in the Panther. The Black Panther organization, by the way, was about 70% female, with a huge number of snitches, male and female, I guess. And they knew that the guys would fight each other, wouldn't even talk to each other. They would bitch on each other. These are boomers that could pull a gun and shoot a Negro if he thought someone said or wrote or did something. He could kill a person without thinking about it. Would never do it to a policeman. Would never do it to a cop beating his mom, but could shoot another black male without a conscience. You could get a black woman to sleep with multiple people in the Panthers and get them to all kill each other. And no one say, hey, wait a minute. You screwed Chef. You screwed him. You screwed. Why are you trying to screw me? And that's part of, I'm sorry, no quality dick control and no quality control for pussy. All pussy isn't good. It may look good on the outside, but you know what's in it. You know what I'm saying? It's the same principle. I had to put 2 mice down today. I have a really nice trap. The trap really looks cool from the outside, but what's inside is death. And so just because a person has another set of genitalia doesn't mean that they have a high character or good morals or that they're a decent person. However, we were told by the boomers and others, if it's got a hole in it, on the front side, of course, then it's okay. It's all, that includes white women, everybody. Black men, just as long as it's got a hole it's all right. And so until we make an adjustment, I don't care. I mean, the hole, okay, we want the hole, especially on the front. Nobody wants Rocky Road on their thing. But, well, except for unless you're Lil Nas X. But it has to be more. You're supposed to have a vagina if you're a woman. In fact, it should be clean and it shouldn't be like community property. That's where we sort of fall off. So they should have that. And I guess it's good, but is the central processing unit connected to that vagina good? Is it an enemy of black people? Or is it a friend? And this is sort of where I met a lot of people, man, I ain't gay. I don't think about that. So we're seeing black men every so many weeks getting killed, a mess with different women. Get ready to see a large number of black men killed over the next few years because of not having quality dick control and not having regulations for pussy. They just won't do it. In fact, they consider it gay to have a standard for women. And anyone that talks about a standard for women, man, I don't think about it. I'm going to just give you some, right? These kinds of men are brute beasts that will be taken down by the system. Mark my words, a whole lot of black men, because they have no personal discipline about who they lay down with or what they do, many of them will be destroyed. And when they get to prison, if someone lies to them about rape or whatever, they're dead meat. And we can't help those people. So, but that's why these women act like this. For every decent black man that at least thinks about this, there may be about 150 that can't get past their balls.
That's a fact. That's a fact, brother Dr. Short. Brother Dr. Short, real quick before I go back to my brother Twiz, we have the lone wolf himself joining us, brother Juan J. Johnson, Lone Wolf Firearms. Welcome to the Angry Black Man's Book Club, Pat Talk number 7, coming up out of the community kitchen. What's happening with you, brother?
And the married white woman to you, too. White woman to you, sir.
A married white woman to you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
It is good to be in a patriarchal spot. There's nothing like the patriarchy. For all those who have a problem with it, you got an issue with God. So with that said, let's talk.
Oh, and
right,
can I do my little cheer? Ain't no party like a patriarch party, because at a patriarch party, feminism stops.
Yes.
Ain't no party like a patriarch party, because...
Hold on, brother Short. You know what we didn't do? We kind of dropped the ball. Hold on. Moment of silence for our great one here.
Oh, yes. Oh, Kevin Samuels. Keep his word out your mouth if you can't praise him. Hold on, let me get my tambourine, man. Oh, God.
Rest in peace.
Oh.
Rest in peace, a gentleman and a scholar.
Oh, man, this man. Oh, Kevin Samuels. In fact, you know what? I was just putting it on myself. I'm going to pour a frankincense. This is frankincense. A frankincense libation to Kevin Samuels. It was good enough for Jesus. He's the closest thing we've had to Jesus in our race in a long time. Let me hold this up. See, this is frankincense. This is really some good stuff here. We're going to do a frankincense libation for Kevin Samuels. Okay. In his name, we remember him. Thank you. We thank you. We thank you for God for sending us this saint. Let me put a cross on my forehead for Kevin Samuels. All right. Moment of silence. Yes.
All right.
And you say the word, Kevin.
Right.
Kevin, man. Kevin.
Brother Twiz, you got the flow, sir. It's on you, brother Twiz.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Like Lone Wolf said, this is a beautiful space, man, because if we was to do something like this on Twitter and everybody else, man, we'd be getting spammed. We'd be getting so many phone calls and everything. But this is what's needed, man, because it's really time to bring the truth to the light, man. It's really time, to address the elephant in the room. Men are going to have to step up, man. And the first thing about being a man is being your own man, standing on your own 2 feet and believing in your square. You have to be out here with your chest out, head held high, standing 10 toes down on what you believe in. And what I see a lot of these young men in here, I see a lot of these young men in here scared of women. You know, they're scared to tell the women to shut the fuck up. You know, they're
Yes,
scared to tell
please
the
shut
women
the
to
fuck
sit your
up.
ass down. You know, sit your ass down. You know, because you don't know everything. You know, you don't know everything. You're not in this particular position that I am, and you don't walk in these shoes. So just sit back and listen. But that's the impossible. That's the wrong thing to do, to tell a woman to listen, because they don't know everything. But at the same time, too, it's kind of difficult to navigate these treacherous waters out here because you're swimming with sharks. In today's time that we're living in, these women out here are predators. You know, my dad always told me, boy, anytime you have a woman doing the same thing you doing, you're going to always have problems. You know, you're going to always have problems because now she's your competitor. She's no longer your companion. You know what I mean? You guys are both in a rat race, trying to get rich, trying to gain power, and trying to gain land. But yet, it's going to be a difficult thing because you going this way, she going that way. So basically, y'all like two ships in the night. One going south, one going due south, the other one going due north. So what's the purpose? You know, it's like nowadays you have to, in order to be in a, how should I say, partnership, a man has to bow down. He has to slow his momentum, and not only that, he has to listen to somebody that's not even on his level, don't even have a plan. And like Dr. Short was saying, somebody that can't even keep up with time.
That's not a partnership. That's a subjugation. In reality, the very thing that you described is what the women are supposed to be doing. What has happened? Yes, submission is necessary. I don't know if people. I sent Chef see something. I used to work at a mental hospital outside of Massachusetts. It's called McLean Hospital. It's a mental hospital, and they just recently did a study, and they found that women are far more likely to have mental problems than men. Depression, the whole thing. I'm just sorry. Women are more likely to have psychological problems than men have. I don't know why that is. They're saying it's linked to testosterone. Men are less likely to be depressed. See, the studs told you testosterone made you toxic. The study from McLean Hospital, the part of Harvard University, is testosterone helps men be more functional mentally than women. So basically, no people worldwide have ever, and I'm talking about that have survived, have been in a major group, because you know you'll get some queer anthropologists that'll tell you about some hunter-gatherer niggas in the desert somewhere, but no major society with more than 5-10 people functions with women running everything. It never has, it never will. Okay, I'm not saying women can't run, I'm not saying women can't lead, but it is not the norm. And in fact, you know, I had these books I got. I was just looking through them. I have this book with a lot of typos, and it talks about blacks in early Great Britain and all of this. And the thing that's very interesting, I always bring this up, there have been women rulers, women queens and such in many societies that had total power. Do you know what's interesting? When these women got power, one thing they never did do, they never changed the status of women. It's like in Georgia now. You got that rerun from what's that show? What's Happening? Remember What's Happening? The show from the 70s. Okay, and you know who Rerun looks like? Rerun looks.
I call her Big Poppy. I said she's a female Big Poppy.
But the one in Georgia, Fannie Willis, looks like Rerun from What's Happening, without the beanie. And Georgia's the epicenter of human trafficking for black women in America. You see these black women with all this power, all the boule, Spelman with its $200 million in recent endowment. You would think something would be done about black women in slavery. I'm sorry, not a fucking thing, not a goddamn thing. And there are black women prosecutors all over the country, black women police chiefs everywhere. Nothing. It's actually gotten worse. Remember, it was a woman that sat there when Eric Garner was being choked to death by white men laughing. Her name is Kissy. Had a black man been laughing and a black woman was beaten to death or choked to death, oh my God. Because we have a standard for what men do. We don't. You black women don't have a damn standard for how you're supposed to conduct yourselves beyond yourself. Responsibility, reciprocity. It seems to lack in terms of group wide, which is why somebody like Fannie Lou Hamer, somebody like Ella Baker, somebody like Maria Stewart, there's some great black women. They tended to think in a much broader, larger sense of how things are vis-a-vis the average woman. Average woman is concerned about her children, her life, her house, her man. I mean, and what suits her, nothing wrong with that. Just that's the wrong kind of mindset to want to be in charge when you're only looking out for number one. Mayor Lori Lightfoot of Chicago is a quintessential example of a woman in power that can't see past what she wants. And I watched a whole lot of liar sisters. We have a lot of sisters who they're so into these lies. I hate to say it until they're liars and they're not aware of it. They're conditioned to be liars. They saw Lori Lightfoot, who boasted about having the biggest penis in Chicago, as an image of strength. And this same woman was giving money to Latino gangs to kill black women. And the black women considered that's empowerment. And you have to say, y'all stupid as fuck on a lot of stuff. And that's why men need to lead. I mean, a black man giving weapons to people or money for people to kill other black folks, he would have been under attack the minute it got out. When it happened for Lori Lightfoot, everybody says, well, you got to understand, she was the first woman. They began to appeal to the fact she's a woman. She shouldn't be expected to function on the same level as a man in the same capacity. Well, why the fuck are you there if you're going to do worse? Because most men don't get it together. So a woman that comes in and does worse is seen as equal to a man that does it well. Bullshit. And so I'm not saying that you can't have women in leadership. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have women in leadership. But they need to be like Ida B. Wells, like Fannie Lou Hamer. They need to be folk who can see beyond themselves. And I'm going to just say this to you. I volunteered and tried to help people many, many times over the last, I'd say, 13 years. And one of the biggest things that I found, whether the police murdered someone or whatever, the persons that tended to give you the most difficulty in helping solve the situation, you're not going to like this, a lot of sisters. And those sisters would give money to a white person before they'd give it to you. They would question and challenge your ability, even if their ass never went to school, because you're a black man, everything was suspect, and in fact would stab you in the back, lie on you, betray you, waste your time, and then after everything went wrong, come back to you and ask you, would you help me after I dogged you? I'm thinking, I'm amazed at our culture. Our culture is out of order, and it's not just the men. These women are out of order. I know a woman who, you want me to help you get something from the government. I didn't even ask for much. You didn't really, you weren't gonna give me anything. In fact, lie on me and then try to use my network and then dog me to people. I didn't have men do that. I just reconnected with the business partner today. I was introduced to him by a sister. I thought she's okay. Actually, what that sister wanted me to do was screw his girlfriend, which I'm not trying to do, and fight and be against him as she pit him against me. All of this she thought out before any of us met. And by the way, it was we men's fault, and she set everything up to go the way it did. And I've had lots of these, and these are activists, educated women do this. Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, I want moderators. We're gonna get them. I've done everything that I could do, and I've seen other people that have worked with, and they found there's something. There's a respect problem. There's a role problem. In fact, the woman that was trying to pit me against the brother I was going to work with in agriculture, she told me, I don't think that there should be roles for men and women. And so I said to her, well, I'll say who? Well, Nancy, whose tit does the baby suck? This woman has a PhD. She didn't have an answer. In other words, her thing is, shoot, let him suck on the man's chest if the baby wants to. So where's the baby going to get the nutrition from? And this is a woman, by the way, pro-abortion, you know, the type of feminist. So here's a woman talking about the baby should suck on the man. She sees herself as educated, a leader. So where would the man doesn't have any milk or cholesterol or anything to give. And she doesn't see how off she was. I told her, you're crazy. The baby will die of malnutrition. Are y'all getting me? This woman wants that. They're so determined to undo God's order of man and woman, husband, wife, mother, father. These women are trying to undo, and that's what feminine, undo human society without any idea of what happens if you undo it. What do you replace it with? And I just want to pause and I'll land my plane here, Chef. There are going to be millions and millions of black women who are going to be single and alone because they overplayed their hands in terms of how they dealt with black men, and they're never going to get married, and they're going to be at the mercy of these foreigners and assisted living and so forth. And I have experienced the foreigners. They are, I had maybe two friends. One friend's mother was more than likely killed due to negligence within the last 4 months by an African foreigner to a black American woman. For all of you hoes that believe in intersectionality, let this lady run down a flight of stairs in an electric power chair. Okay. It's all over Washington, D.C. These foreigners, Asians and Africans, kill elderly black women. Oh, yes, they do. With a black mayor and black women in charge of social services, they don't do a fucking thing about it, ladies. When you're alone and you don't have a man, and there are a million black women in this country that have no children, no husbands, no parents, and they're at the mercy of strangers, they sure did bad by themselves. And so we're going to see an epidemic of people's Social Security and SSI checks get stolen. People's homes are going to get taken. It's going to be incredible pain to come to a demographic, and this would have all been self-inflicted, and nobody could tell you. And it's interesting. In every other culture in the world, women by a certain age, if they haven't bagged a man, they're seen as a failure. The black American culture is so liberal, it doesn't make any real demands of women. The women here talk about sexism, they don't know what the hell sexism is. Walk outside the house in certain countries in the world without some lipstick and look good. It's presumed that you're a whore. A lot of the people that don't respect black women, they think you're all whores. If you come out plain, bags on your head, that's how a whore would dress. I can't make them not think that from another culture. And now they're bringing millions of men here. What that's... I'm telling you, Judgment Day is here.
Brother Short. I mean, you dropping so many jewels here, but you know what? Listen, let's go a little bit above here, and kind of reinforce what you're saying from another seasoned veteran.
Go for it.
And then I'll go to my brother Juan, and then we'll go to brother Twizzle and get their interpretation on this. I want to bring something up, ladies and gentlemen. I want to share something, and this is coming from a brother, an OG brother, old school type of cat, who had an interview on a program called Comedy Hype by the name of Desmond. Y'all know him from Sanford and Son.
Yes, Demond Wilson. His name is Demond Wilson.
There you go, brother Demond Wilson.
Right.
Now he spoke on kind of the debacle, actually the breakdown of what has been going on in the patriarchy household.
Feminism.
And one of the main components who contributed to that. So I want to play it so y'all can hear this, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, like, share, subscribe, y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. We're going to bring it up right now. Let's go ahead and get our eyes on the screen. Fair use by the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for learning purposes, educational purposes. Fair use.
When my agent called me and said, watch the show, I said, I don't want to do television, as I said. And I watched the show, I came away thinking, this is the beginning of the dissolution of the patriarchal system. And on the heels of that, the announcer tried to cut me off. I said, let me finish. Because on the heels of that came Married with Children. And then all of a sudden, parents became idiots and kids became all-knowing. Young women started calling their mother B-I-T-C-H word and rebelling. And it all started. Norman Lear. They asked me what I said. I will say this about him. He was a visionary. Right. But then when I heard about his political affiliations, it all fell into place. And I knew I was right on the money. Yes. No, I said it went on and on and on, ad infinitum. And what we're experiencing now is the evolution of what Norman Lear started with All in the Family. And nobody got it. They missed it totally. They said, oh, Devon's talking about Norman didn't have. I said, you people have been so dumbed down. Like Malcolm said, some of us, we're going to have to leave behind. You're too brainwashed to understand. That was the important thing I said about it. And they don't even know that. You know, you got this whole feminist movement out here. I don't need no man. I don't need no man. No, but your kids do. Your children do. A broken home. I can't remember the statistic. I think it's like 65% of people incarcerated in the penal systems are single family. I don't need no man.
So it's just all by. It will be all by design. I'm guessing they want this, right? I would assume people want this. The system benefits.
What do you mean, welfare?
Welfare, the patriarch, dissolution.
Now the image I'm showing y'all, just so you know, that's the Lear.
You know, Norman Lear. Now you know he looks like Lucille Ball.
That's the man that he's talking about, y'all. Now I thought he was a light-skinned brother. Nah, this is a white man.
No, he's Jewish. I'm sorry, GCP. GCP.
Ish. There you go. But yeah, this is the guy, y'all. This is the guy who started everything. The pioneer of I don't need no man himself, right here. So let's keep on playing that track for y'all, though. Let's keep playing that track, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Shit that you just mentioned,
that's because of the feminist movement, brother.
Ooh, here we go. Come on.
The feminist movement. All of those lesbians back in the day, Gloria Steinem, Black Panther woman, that teaches at Stanford University, they were lesbians. The Black Panther Party was a communist organization that was funded by the Rockefellers.
Come on,
That's the number one thing.
Hold on, y'all. We're going to have to hold on.
This organization that was funded by the Rockefellers.
I'm going to spin it back so y'all really hear what he's saying.
Assume people want this. The system benefits.
What do you mean, welfare?
Welfare, the patriarch, dissolution that you just mentioned, just
That's because of the feminist movement, brother. The feminist movement. All of those lesbians back in the day, Gloria Steinem, Black Panther woman, teachers at Stanford University, they were lesbians. The Black Panther Party was a communist organization that was funded by the Rockefellers. That's the number one thing. So,
Hold it, brother. Hold on. Where my brother Juan at? I got the sweetness to the low wolf. Hold on. Where the wolf at? I got the sweetness to the wolf. Now, brother Wolf, we'll continue that. Sir, what goes on when that man said that? Because until I heard that information, I had no idea that the Black Panthers were funded by the Rockefeller Foundation. You know the atrocities that they're responsible for when it comes out. What are your thoughts, brother? And then we go to my brother Twiz.
But first of all, I wish that I would have got more context from Brother Devon Wilson.
Okay.
I know he's a solid brother. He's a believer. I just wish I could get more. I wish he could go to the source. Because to make that allegation, you got to stand on that source.
Come on.
Okay.
That's new to all of us, right?
Well, the Black Panther Party, they were atheists, yes. They were socialists, which is communism light. That's true, and they're internationalists. So they were aligned with them if they were not in it. They were aligned to it. So you have a relationship to Cuba, North Korea, all of that. That was a common thing back at that point in that movement. So I'm not trying to say the Panthers absolutely dislike capitalism, and there are many reasons for us to have issues with capitalism, but them being just, well, my key thing with the Black Panthers was that there is no space for God. And yeah, I'm going to keep saying it, God, black folks. We've gotten incredibly stupid. I meet so many dumb, retarded, atheistical black people. The one thing I know about hell, it's going to be full of my contemporaries. Because I meet so many people. I don't have any beliefs. I don't have I want everybody to be happy. Well, what about Charles Manson? How will you make him happy? How will you make that tranny that shot the kids up in Tennessee happy? You can't make everybody happy. Some people have wicked desires. By the way, that whole idea of everybody being happy and everybody being satisfied, by the way, that comes from feminism too. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry, ladies, y'all have brought, in the name of women's liberation, they brought in anarchy, and they brought it in through studs. They did through lesbians, GCP lesbians, black lesbians, which is why I'm very, very, very critical of Shirley Chisholm, the Barbadian pro-gay, pro-abortion, pro-freakiness congresswoman that everyone sees as this black woman icon, Shirley Chisholm. If I was a black man screaming about gay rights and killing babies and let's help everybody and everybody together, folk would be calling me all kinds of names. And that gets back to us black people, in particular, I'm going to just say it, black men being sorry as shit in terms of standing in their square, holding down standards and values, because I'm going to say something to you. Growing up as men, when your father told you to do something, you did it. Anybody that had a dad knew when dad told you something, your ass did it, or you're going to get knocked out. Who could ask a question if dad said? A female could question. We men know that. No, you don't. You don't want your ass beat. Do exactly what you're told. Women operate under a very different system where they get to challenge, to do all kinds of stuff, and no one says anything about it. And and so you get a woman that it's like a butterfly floating all over the place that's not doesn't have any gravity or rootedness, and you give her some kids on her own, and that's how you have these ladies that go out for a girls' weekend out and leave the kids at home for about 3 days. You
Come
hear
on.
about this stuff all the time, and there's no man, and she had that covered, and I make my own money, right, and leave the kids to starve. This is and they're frequently black women in America, in England, all over. I keep seeing it over and over again. Women that leave children in hot cars every year. Once it gets above 75, 80 degrees, I start waiting to see how long before you start seeing dead black kids. If it were
Come on.
black men leaving kids in cars with full custody, they would have come up with the law to make certain that black men didn't leave children in cars. You understand what
Listen,
I'm
brother.
saying? So
I hear you.
because and by the way, they understand that they can use the women to destroy the people. And where hey, and if you think that that's unusual, if you think it's unusual what I'm saying to you, I can just point you to the Bible. Who all you got to think the Bible's fairy tales? Okay, even in the fairy tale Bible book for all you unbelieving folks on your way to hell, I don't care about what you think. Who did they go to kill off the Hebrews to make certain that they didn't reproduce? They went to whom? They went to the Hebrew women. We want you to kill the boys. They did not go to the men. And
Delete
in,
the boys.
and in
There you go.
ancient cultures and other things, there's always been an assumed women had the right to kill children because women brought children into the world. Women had the right to kill them. This is an
Delete.
old, ongoing pagan tradition. Whose families have the children dying, going to jail, committing suicide, in gangs, and so forth? Families headed by females. And y'all can't duck it. I don't want to hear a damn thing about the father not being there. Because if you really know how to act right, there's a man, and their men, they do it every single solitary day, that will take on another man's bastards and call them his own if you know how to treat them. And our culture, because black men have no value, not one damn bit of value, to I'd say at least 75% of black women, the black man that takes care of another man's bastards is seen as a chump and a loser. And in fact, he's a lucky janitor. That's a dream job to change the pampers of another dude who busted a nut and kept walking. We don't celebrate the black men that stay and raise 1 in 3 or 40% of black kids are raised by men who've had women either betray or cheat on them. That is our culture, which means a huge number of our black moms that we celebrate and we do Mother's Day out the ass for hoard around, backstab, and was sleazy. And men picked up the bag and didn't say anything about it, didn't want the kids not to love their mother, never said your mama was a slut. I still loved her.
That's crazy. Talk that talk, Nick. Talk your chase, Dr. Short. God damn it. Hold on. Let me go back to my brother Juan Johnson. Brother Juan J. Johnson, Lone Wolf. Sir, listen,
Yes.
this, I understand the substantiation. Everybody like, share, subscribe, Angry Black Man's Book Club on their next podcast. Lone Wolf Firearms. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you subscribe to all of these platforms. You got the commander just tapped in, but I want to get your finishing thought here, brother Lone Wolf, and then we go to Twizzle, and then we'll go to the Commander Negro. Listen, it is, man. Listen, one that did break my heart a touch. With that, I agree 1,000% with him substantiating those claims, and I need a more thorough receipt here. However, where do we go from what we're seeing, from that information provided now, Brother Juan? What are your thoughts?
So I think we go here. I know Brother Damon, he's come to a couple of churches I visited when I was a member of. He's a solid dude. And
Yeah.
he
Oh,
left
yes,
Hollywood.
he is.
He left Hollywood for the ministry. He's been preaching for at least 20, 30 years.
No,
I
it's
saw
more
him,
like 40.
I saw him back in the 90s when I saw him.
Okay, well,
So
my introduction is 1986, and he was preaching before then. So no, he's 40 years plus.
So he stands on the word, and I'll say this: I know a lot of people run from the word. I want you to know, on Brother Chef's broadcast, on their necks, in the face of Angry Black Men Book Club, and all those who are on this broadcast, listening on any social media platform, I am a follower of the revolutionary Jesus the Christ.
Mhm.
Period.
Come on.
I stand on principles. I stand on scriptures. And what I can say that feminism is diabolical. It's a direct contradiction to the scriptures.
It's satanic. It's an abomination. Completely.
It's a middle finger
to God.
in the face of God.
That's right.
Okay.
Trash.
Let me say something now, because I can go to Genesis 18, right?
Come with it, Lone Wolf. Come with it.
Genesis 18:17. Every religion, from Judaism, Islam, Christianity, see Abraham as the father
Mm-hmm.
of all these religions.
And not Sarah as the co-mother. It's just Abraham, just the man, no woman.
Straying off from him, they still point to Father Abraham. You know why? Because God, Lord, capital levels, the self-existing God, said these words to Abraham. Genesis 18:17. Then the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? Abraham will surely become a great and powerful nation, and all the nations on the earth will be blessed through him. For I have chosen him so that he will direct his children in his household. Okay? After him, to keep the way of the Lord. Let me just stop right there. See, we always talk about a man is supposed to protect and provide.
Come on.
But for real, before he protects and provides, he gives instructions.
Come with it.
And the reason why God chose the man, he didn't choose Sarah. He didn't say Abraham and Sarah. He said Abraham. Because he would give instructions. And what's missing, or what's rebelled against, or what's resisted from us is they don't want to listen. If you don't want to listen to me, you don't want to listen to God. But they go around the man and get to God. God gave the promise to a man.
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 I want you to hear this. Whoever hearing this, you need to know God don't break his order.
No.
God, man, woman, child. They're trying to do it.
Come on.
Yeah, they're trying to have a gender coup d'etat against God. It's another Tower of Babel, but the Tower of Babel is a dildo.
Let me say something.
No.
I'm going to go on record right now and say this. You can say you love God all you want, but if you don't have respect for his word, you hate him. And I'm talking about these women who always talking about give it to Jesus. Jesus,
come on, brother. Why? Cook.
Man, you're speaking of facts right now. Jesus ain't taking no wheel because he's giving the wheel to the man.
Let him cut.
How can I hide from Abraham? I'm going to make him a great nation in all the earth. All religions will come out of him because I know he's going to give his children in his household instructions. And they always believe in that damn protect and provide, but they never want to be able to dang on listen to me.
No, submission
Never,
and
never
listen.
honor and obey.
submission,
obey.
submission, and listen. Don't just listen, then do it.
Yes. So
Okay.
if they got a problem with instructions, you got a problem with God.
Hmm. Can I give you an example, brother Juan? Can I give you an example of why? And it doesn't have to be in everything, but it can be in things that men were given authority in the earth. That's what it says in Genesis, right? They do.
Yes.
Now, look, it's super cold. Everybody knows all over the country, 80% of this country is having severe cold weather. Nature, nature is divinely ordered. So way before the meteorologists knew we were going to have super cold winter for at least a couple of days, the animals, all the birds and everything disappeared early around here. I'm not joking. The birds were gone. And then the field mice came in. And I mean, we haven't had this kind of problem. If you're in DC, the houses are old. When you lived in DC, anybody lived in DC, it's a swamp. I mean, and they've been digging, putting up apartments. It's been driving the rats and mice and stuff crazy. Okay. And we had, because our neighbors, kind of sloppy, we had mice infestation. I don't know. We haven't had it. And I had to tell someone, hey, look, we need to kill these things now, or else we're going to have a problem. I won't say who, but someone says, oh, don't kill them, right? So I said, you know what? Let me go along with the female perspective. And they had a population boom. And of course, my stud neighbors, they smoke weed. And I think the weed makes the mice have more sex and have the munchies. And those things went wild.
So like you live next door to hood rats.
Yes, I do. I tried to poison them, and they ate all the poison up. They went to about 25 pounds of poison. And we don't have a big house. They just killed it. Got another type of poison. Got about 20 pounds of it. They ate that up too. We didn't see an end to the problem until I just says, damn it, I'm putting my foot down, because your logic is female. It has nothing to do with reality. A lot of people don't know that mice can reproduce. Mice can begin to reproduce as fast as 5 to 6 weeks after being born. Mouse can put up to as many as 10 pups a litter. If you get 2 mice, and they can do it every so many weeks, every 7 weeks, mice can start a new litter. They can gestate a litter in 20 days. You do the math. We didn't get a break in the behavior from these rodents until I began killing them, and killed their asses I have. Now, selfish over here taking a break. But I had to say to someone, we had a problem because you did not listen to me. You went in your feelings. You don't even know anything about the biology of the rodents. I do. I've been killing them 50 years. I know all about how fast, and if you ever have a problem with mice, if you don't kill their asses off in the first 2 weeks, you're going to have a problem for a few months, because they can reproduce just that fast. And that's an example. We had all of these, and you know what? They start destroying stuff and eating up pocketbooks and things, literally. And it took killing them. I don't know if anybody knows anything about rodent control. Oh, the women get so upset about mice. But don't kill them. They have the humane way that you let the mouse go back outside so they can reproduce and come back in the hole that got. The way that women organize shit a lot of times has nothing to do with the outcome that they want, because they're in emotion. Sorry, you women think with emotion. We men think with logic. And too much emotion and too little logic brings chaos. And I have no idea. I was doing these lives, and these things were in them, making so much noise. Sounded like it was an Ali fight. till I wipe them out. I poison them, I gas them. And that's what I would have done. There would have never been a problem had I, as the man, simply did what I felt like doing. But what I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this to teach someone a lesson. That you shouldn't second guess me. I know damn sure what I'm talking about as a man. I'm right. I'm good at what I do. If you want someone to get rid of something, we men are here to do things. A lot of times, the reason things are messed up is that women interfere. They don't know how to butt out of their stuff. It's interesting. If a man is like Chef and I, we like to cook and do stuff. Women will get offended if you're in the kitchen and they're there. It's not your place. Even if you cook better than the women when they decide they're going to cook. You know what I'm talking about, Chef. You probably gone out with a woman who couldn't, who all she could do is turn the stove on, not much more. But when it came down to a roll, she wanted you to eat the bad food she's going to get, no matter how much better you were than her, because she associated that as her role. We men know to stay out of women's restrooms, stay out of women's sports. We don't want anything that's not ours. It is the women who haven't been happy with what they had that figure the grass is always greener, as long as it's not having to get in the draft and get shot at or take the shitty jobs like cleaning. I remember working in the fast food. The girls were never sent in to clean the restrooms, male or female. It was nasty and dirty. It was work for men. Do you know if you had put that around for women, it would have been sexism and discrimination? But if you told the guy, then I have to clean the shit in the bathroom, period. And I'm telling you, they had to clean shit off the ceiling. I don't know how they got it up there. I never said, oh, well, the women don't have to do it. We men tend to do what we're told. This Jezebel, feminist, Luciferian thing has women all out of order, thinking that that's what makes them a woman. And yet, with all of these things handed to, given to women for them to be made happy, even most sorry ass men with this happy wife, happy life bullshit mantra who are getting the shit suit out of them in divorce court, right? Women still have high rates of depression, suicide. They're not happy. They're not motivated to have sex, even if the guy's a multimillionaire. Because in reality, what makes a person feel good about who and what they are is a relationship to God. And the problem is women hate God for making them women, and they take it out on men and children. That is a major problem in the Black American community.
You know what, brother Dr. Short? There
I,
are a great amount of women. When I sit here and I think about my experiences with the opposite sex, and then I'm gonna go back to Brother Juan to finish his thought, and we'll go to Twiz. We'll swing it over to Twiz.
and we see the Negro on there. Oh my God, he's one of those
Oh
young.
yeah, oh yeah.
He's on the front
Wait,
line of feminism in Connecticut, slum etiquette. Oh my God, there's nothing but.
I got a lot going on in Pistol Wave in New Haven. They're giving women firearms and they're giving guys the sticks. You know how that goes, family. You know how that goes.
Hold on. I got Lone Wolf to finish his thought, and then we got Brother Twiz, and then I'll go to you, Negro. Shout out to the Negro in the building right now. Brother Lone Wolf, you got the final thought. Finish your thought, Brother Lone Wolf. You got the floor.
I think that if we're going to attack a problem, again, normally with me, I believe in standing on the word, scripture. I think that if we're going to do anything, if we're going to build something, if we're going to fight something, you have to stand on something. It's got to be a word. You have to be grounded in the word to do the fight. Because when all else fails around you and you begin weak, you can stand on the word. So when I stand on this Abraham piece, I speak not with just passion. I speak with authority because I know that God, the creator, the self-existent, who created everything, whether you call him Allah, or Buddha, or Jesus, whatever you call him, he still gave instructions to that man. Okay? And his wife wasn't with him when he gave those instructions. Okay? She was a part of him, but she wasn't with him. got to stand on making these women, and I mean when I say making them, laying down the law, being unapologetic, okay, and knowing that if you listen to me, you'll get the blessings. Look at it. Abraham's gone. I'm a seed of Abraham. The brothers in the Islamic faith, they're seeds. Judaism, all these are seeds from one man. Because God said, I'm not going to hide from him. Because he's going to give his children, his household, and all those in his wingspan instructions. See, we're fighting against the type of Miriam spirit that you can find in Numbers 12.
Mm-hmm.
When she came to Moses, she made these words, does not God speak to me also? We don't even deal with that. You know, Moses had married some black woman, and she mad at him. And she gets Aaron and say, does not God speak to me also?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She went full Aretha on him, didn't she? You better think about what you're trying to do to me.
She was rebellious on her because her name means rebellious. Her name means rebel. We don't talk about Miriam, but her name means rebellious. And we're dealing with a lot of women who are acting like Miriam. They have a rebellious spirit.
Mm-hmm. A Jezebel spirit.
Well, it's just even before Jezebel.
I know, but we know it. If we could put a familiar term out, Miriam means rebellion, and she's a precursor to Jezebel or Delilah that you've got. And by the way, if you go to divinity school, this is how crazy it is. All of the stories that point out any issues with women we're told that that's male bias against women. Now, everything critical of men in the Bible is true. It's only the things that point out flaws in women that is male hate, misogyny in the Bible, men hating women. It's interesting. All women are basically all good, including Jezebel and Delilah. They were freedom fighters, and I mean, if you go to a liberal seminary, which is basically a place full of shit.
Cemetery.
Well, actually, I like cemeteries. I live near one. This is much worse. Okay, whenever the scripture points out something that people need to look at in women, they target those and say those have no relevance. You can't. The Bible doesn't say, only when the Bible picks out Mary and when the woman Zipporah does the rituals. Only when the women are doing good is the Bible relevant. If the Bible points out anything that women do that's wrong, it is incorrect. And that's the rebellion I'm trying to tell you. So what's her name? Vashti McKenzie from Baltimore, who's the bishop of the AME Church, who's now head of the National Council of Churches. Okay. These types of women, anything that points out that women did something wrong at any time is incorrect. Everything it says about men, and then some that didn't even get written in, they'll tell you, is true. So this hyper accountability for men and no accountability for women, because God is speaking to them too. And I know a woman that will tell me, she calls herself an apostle, and I'm not saying be whatever you say, but they'll say that Jesus had lots of female disciples and they've hidden it all. Okay, so what you'll find is that they've got, not only they have their own facts, their own scripture and reality, they've got their own God, separate and apart from what we have. Because how do you come up with something else? And that's apostasy throughout the church. And the same thing is how you got trans in the church, how you got Black Lives Matter in the church, how you got abortion in the church, how you got gay affirmation in the church. It's come in through these females.
That's crazy. Brother Juan, your final thoughts, sir, and then I'm going to swing to Twizzle.
My final thoughts is this. it's not just a physical problem,
It's spiritual, yes, sir.
but these spiritual problems too. And again, if you're going to deal with the symptom, we get to deal with the root.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, for every symptom there's a root. We always look at the symptoms, but we're not really dealing with the root. And again, I'm unapologetic. You know, if you don't know who I am a ordained minister.
Come on, talk that talk, brother.
I am
Talk that
a
talk.
retired police officer of almost 30 years. I am a firearms instructor. Okay? I'm not just, and I've gone to the Bible schools, the colleges. Okay? And I've come to the realization is this. What we're facing is an assault against the Creator and his respect for his first creation, which is man. Again, if a woman has a problem with what I'm saying, you got a problem with the scriptures.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have a problem with me. You got a problem with the scriptures.
Mm-hmm.
Take it up with God. And from what I'm seeing, for all this 30 years of women that are loose, now you're seeing. See, now you're seeing.
Hold on, brother Juan. Say that one more. Don't let that slide. Say that one more time.
Oh, he's talking about take dicks, Jakes.
For all this woman thou art loose in who your God was,
Come on.
and you still don't criticize him for what he is being used. Look here, ladies, we love you, but you're out of order.
Come on.
You
Come on,
are out of order.
Come on, Lord.
And I've said it once, and I say it again. When I see the judgment on you, I am ready, willing, and able to step over your dead carcass. Okay?
So you're not going to play hero.
And I'm not. If you can't listen to somebody who's trying to save your life, then go that way. Go that way. I'm going to step over your carcass. You need to listen to us. I mean that. Also, don't forget to go to Lone Fire. There'll be a plan to get your
Yeah, but you know what?
Hey, don't forget to go to Lone Fire. Go ahead, tell him, brother.
Don't forget to go to lwtraining.com for all your firearms services. Now, forget, because I was so serious, I had a little commercial in there. You had to lighten it up, okay? But we want you to look.
Well, you lightened it up when you brought up Power Bottom.
Well, again, because for the last, he brought out that message in 1992.
Power Bottom, baby. Power Bottom, baby. Power Bottom, baby.
That's their message. Okay? Feminism matched their message onto his woman that are loose. He's never even thought about the damage that he's caused.
Because he's a power bottom. Power bottom, baby.
I'm just saying.
When Diddy's ranked so close to me, there's no mega church that I'd rather be than with Diddy in me. Power bottom, baby.
And Twiz. Listen, what are your thoughts on first what Brother Demond Wilson said regarding the financing of the Black Panthers, sir? And then some of the other contributions from our brothers, our good seasoned brothers there. Twiz, you got the pan in the kitchen, man. It's on you.
First things first, I would like to say, you are out of order. Some of these sisters are out of order for the bed-waging, sacrificing their culture for love, standing on their men too busy trying to be men, and forgetting the men too busy selling out for power. So they are out of order. And with the financing with the Black Panthers, I know I can only speak on the Oakland chapter because I don't know too much what was going on with the nationwide chapters. I know LA and Oakland, we kind of had like a brother sisterhood. You know what I'm saying, on how we were networking. I know that I didn't see documentaries about certain Black Panther parties to where the women were so-called trying to be the leaders and trying to run things and they came in power when they couldn't get center stage. Like Dr. Short said, they were some of the ones that was selling the party out, you know, going against the party and not progressing the movement all over a power struggle. And that's going to be a major cancer to our community. You know, we have to get our power work back in order. Like Dewan was saying, they are doing something that's totally against the laws of nature. You know, they're going against the man, they're going against their creator, they're going against their father, and they're going against their protector. So they're going to be in situations to where they're going to be cast out to the wild. You know what I mean? It's hard out here. You know, we have to be together to make it. I don't care what we say. Me and a woman cannot make it on our own. You know what I mean? We need them.
That's right.
And as us Black Americans, we need our Black women to fight because those are the only ones that's going to have our back. Us Black men, we are in our situation.
A quagmire.
Yes, our backs is to the corner right now to where we only got one direction. We got to come out swinging. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't have our women's on our back, it's not pretty good. And I just want to ask Dr. Lancaster-Short a question. And I'll pass the mic and I'll let the Negro go. Dr. Lancaster-Short, where do you see all this coming to? You know what I mean? In the next 10 years, if the women don't fall in line, where do you see the Black community going?
The Black community is going to survive because I'll have a Black family if I hook up with an Eskimo, as long as it's human. Black women have to stop outsourcing their relationship jobs, or they'll end up basically without any work.
Hey, Brother Short, hold on. Elaborate on that for the people.
Outsourcing like you outsource. You send Black women have sent Black men, like America has sent factories and stuff to China and Mexico, because they didn't want to pay American workers. Black American women, many of them have not wanted to be wives. They want to be roommates with financial fiat and privileges, but they do not want to be wives. So they don't want that. They don't want to pay that kind of monogamous sexual wage to Black men. They don't want to be, in fact, there's a word, you'll hear women say this all the time, and it's implied, and Black men are so tone deaf and retarded. When a woman says, I'm not doing all that, what's all that? Well, what it means, all that is, I'm not going to take care of you and love you and nurture you and be a wife to you like your mother, your grandmother, women from, I'm not doing it. Black women have been on strike for close to 60 years. And what happens when the wages, like for example, if you're a capitalist and you have a business and you can't work with a particular labor force, then you send your business somewhere else. The passport brother phenomenon isn't going anywhere. Kevin Samuels, peace be upon him, is the relational Moses. Let my testicles go. It's the message that he shouted from our Mount Sinai. And where Black men are moving away from this ghetto, relationship ghetto, where I can weigh 900 pounds and have 8 bastards, and you've got to janitor up my life because you got to be with the Black woman. That used to be a kind of orthodoxy for Black men, not for Black women. Black women have always been able to be with whoever they want to be with, more or less. Black men have only had that option since 1967. And Black men, for the most part, still marry. Roughly 90% of the Black American women, up until recently, got married by Black men, even though Black men haven't been wanted. There has now there is a break So there are men like me, I could just say personally, I know what it's like to be in university settings. You meet sisters you think of similar class. They had no interest in any of the black men around them. All of us were no good. We were failures. This is you're hearing this. How did I get to be a failure at Harvard University? At least I got to have something going for me, right? Not really. I'll just tell you, the young undergraduate men at Harvard all had to go to Wellesley because the black woman on Harvard's campus wouldn't even deal with. They deal with white men. The black women would go out with white women, Asian women, Latino women, anything but a black man. So I've been seeing this for a long time. And the guys would go to Wellesley, and by the way, while the black women weren't interested in the black men, the white men, the black men, everybody was chasing down the black men except for the black women. And so now I think that finally that's penetrated through the thick skulls of black men who've been brand loyal despite being mistreated, like shopping at an Asian store in the hood. Eventually, you get abused enough times, followed around enough times by the Koreans, and then you stop going. The black women have literally driven black men out of the relationship market, and particularly with the recent spike in divorces where a lot of sisters are divorcing, high earning black men get divorced like black men that can't keep a job. They don't want black men. So now the black men travel. I went overseas to start meeting women overseas when I was a teenager. Okay. So, hold on, hold
Are
it.
you a passport, bro?
No, I'm,
Bro?
I'm a black man that knows what it's like to be in Brazil one day where the women are friendly. Yeah, I'm not trying to grab anyone's bottom or bosom or anything. And they'll speak to you, they're friendly, and get back to Washington, D.C., where there's supposedly a man shortage. And the first black one I meet is yelling and screaming at me over something I didn't even do. And I says, wow, just 10 hours ago, I'm in Brazil and the ladies are speaking. They may not want you, but they're pleasant. There is a war that has black women have been weaponized against black men. They're very dishonest about it. It is the satanic spirit, and I block the person. I don't want to hear about passport brothers that have problems overseas because black men get killed every day meeting women over the internet, as do women get killed meeting people over the internet. No one talks about the black men that disappear and so forth because black men can't be the victims. Black men can't get ripped off for child support. Black men can't get ripped off in custody. Black men can't get murdered. Black men can't get set up and killed. Black men can't get swatted. Black men can't be falsely accused. In fact, these weaponized black women are white men with vaginas and melanated skin. They're no different from a white supremacist. And the black men who understand the psychopathology of these pathetic women are meeting women in other places. And, women are women. Women have the same flaws overseas as they have here. However, the way that the Filipino woman, at least she is a wife for 7, 8 years until she gets citizenship. We got sisters here who can't be married for 5 months, can't cook one time, can't be a mom ever. And you want to put down a person that will hang in with you for 10 years and book, and you can't do 1 year. So if I had to choose between a man going to China, someplace else, and bringing someone that at least hung around for 10, 12, or 15 years, got citizenship and broke, vis-a-vis a person who would game the system, steal everything, mess up the kids, make the kids hate them, and not even have a marriage for a year, to me, I would rather the person spin that roulette wheel and, in the words of the group that was led by the pedophile, the mamas and the papas, go where you want to go, do what you want to do. And I believe that there are more men. In fact, I want to let everybody know I have a friend that does tours. When I'm doing a little better financially, I'm thinking about getting a group of people, if anyone's interested, and going to Malawi, where these sisters want to get married. They have some nice looking sisters that want families. I'm not interested in sex tourism. That's disgusting. But folks who want to meet someone that can start a family, to figure out places where we'll go where folks are prepared to be a wife,
Brother Short.
So these, well,
Hold
let
on.
me just say,
Somebody said you off code, Brother Short.
I don't care about what they said. It's my dick, not theirs. I mean, that's kind of queer. They're off code if they're going to tell me where my penis should go, where I should be fulfilled as a man, where I should find a wife. So for all the women that say if it's a woman and if it's a fagonist man, that's a whole nother set of problems. The women that don't like the Passport Brothers movement, now is the time for you guys to become Black American marshals and bust down the sorry sisters and start regulating them. I have watched with my own eyes one lesbian beat another lesbian holding a baby in front of Black women, and not one of them said a damn peep. Had that been a man even raising his voice too loud at a sister, there would have been all kinds of talk. You Black women have no moral code for each other. You don't hold each other accountable, and you think that that's somehow morally right for a man to get with one of these crazy ass women that will mess up the children, mess up the man, mess up everything. Like the man I know whose wife went out and had orgies and brought him back multiple STDs. When he wouldn't have sex with her when she was infected, she left him, and the courts gave her everything, and she betrayed him. We Black men know these courts, these divorce courts, mistreat us. That everything is awful for Black men in the courts, and you Black women know it. And there's, in fact, real decent Black women would want reform where it's fair. The sisters don't want it fair. They're used to having no one gives up power without demand, says Frederick Douglass. The Black men using the passport system as a way to break the back of the pork chop feminist stud rebellion in this country. And whatever is used that is nonviolent, that doesn't hurt a Black woman physically or spiritually, to crush this thing, whether it's God or whether it's marrying, outsourcing your relationship, do it. This thing must be destroyed in our lifetime or we won't survive as a people. And I don't give a damn about any woman that doesn't like what I said. Fuck all of y'all, because y'all have had plenty of time. I've seen situations all the time. I'm telling you as a teacher, the young Black men that were serious, that acted like they were marriageable material, couldn't get a girl to spit on them. The guys that would rape the girls, they had all the attention. I don't give a damn about this bad boy obsession. In fact, have the damn bad boys and be alone with the bastards when they walk off on you. But no righteous Black man deserves the kind of crap and toxicity of these toxicity queens who hate men, who actually feel entitled to our life and labor to subsidize the fact that they lived as whores, and that's what they've done, and we're supposed to clean it up. I'm not the cleanup crew or roadie for your show. And Black men have to rebel against that and say to hell with it. And I'll tell you something. You want men to stay? Lose the weight, fix yourself up, do something legitimate with your hair. Dress like women instead of like dudes or drag queens. Find out about God, learn how to cook, and think about being a wife instead of a greedy roommate. That's what needs to happen. And until that's done, God bless Kevin Samuels and the Passport Brothers. Finally, something has come along to bring these hard-headed broads that you can't talk to in nice, proper terms because they don't listen, because they don't have to. And they have a huge number of sorry-ass, whore-ass Black men who will say anything to get themselves some sex. They would screw a beehive if they could hold it down. Those kind of Black men that you like, that are trashy and cheap, enjoy them. They're wastrels. They're infected. They have AIDS. They have HPV. They're sterilizing you. And there are huge numbers of Black women sterilized with syphilis and everything else because they've laid down with the sorriest ass Black men that they could find. Count me out of that. If you're different from that, virtuous, and by the way, if you actually like your father and you're not into your mama's bullshit to hate your dad and all men because your mama married this dude, stayed with him, but poisoned your ass so heavily until you can't forgive any man for what your mama told you she went through, A whole lot of black women treat their daughters like trash cans and old Kotex, and you suck up all that mess and it stays inside of you, and she throws you away, and she has her life. Y'all have been betrayed. Black women have been played by the boomers and the bitter Xers, and they better wake up and find out, just like the girl in school who got pregnant and she didn't like the shame of being an unwed mother, duped all of her friends and made it seem as if she's having the time of her life being pregnant, so all of her friends would get fucked up like her. It's women that do that to other women while they got you looking at men the same way coon leadership tells us racism when they're the ones that are setting us up for genocide. You women have your greatest enemies are other women. It is not men. And I'm just sorry that black women, too many black women are white supremacists in their orientation. I don't want to get into back and forth over someone about what has to be for me as a black man. If you don't know, one, if you're not interested in God the way God represents himself in the Bible, I don't want you. And right now, I'm going to say this. A big problem in our community is there are huge numbers of our women into witchcraft, Luciferianism, and Satanism. All this sage burning and tattoos and despicable conduct. It's ungodly, it's wicked, it's hellish. And nobody should want that. No decent man should. No, you're repellent if you're into that. It isn't black and beautiful. It's black and Luciferian and hellbound. That's my answer, young brother.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I totally.
Hold on, brother Twiz. I'm gonna let you land. We had to let the honorable brother Dr. Short get that off his chest. Pause, ladies and gentlemen. I haven't seen this young man like this in a while. I like that energy.
That's what we need. We need that.
Brother Twiz, you got it, brother. You got the floor.
Yeah, we need that. We need that for the simple fact. I don't care what people say. We need our elders, man, because our elders are our guiding teachers. You know what I'm saying? And if our elders say it, it is what it will be.
As long as they're decent ones, because there's some sorry-ass elders. There's some no-good, old, simp, fagonist black men, the kind that I would see boys at 10 years old telling boys, you need to get yourself some tail. You're telling a 10-year-old this in a church yard. So don't go by age. There's some old, nasty simps who don't give any wisdom to young men about being men, and they make it such a big thing that you have a dick. You're supposed to have a dick. If you have a pussy, you're a freak. Instead, teach them about dick control, dick management, dick advancement, not just dick entrapment. You know, I'm sorry. When you sit down, you think about it, it's old boomer Negroes that have laid the churches gay affirming, and they brought in from it's boomers. So it's elders. Be very careful. Everybody old ain't about something. In fact, a lot of them, I wish God would give them strokes and heart attacks. If the vax don't get them something, please, the new flu virus. Get rid of all the useless people who've passed all this garbage on and kept secrets. Sometimes they're old women, lied about who the kids' fathers are. If you ever saw the thing that happened with this stupid gospel singer, what's this nigga's name from Texas? The one that jumps up and down all the time. Kirk Franklin. I call him Kirk Franklin. And the boy's mama lies to him about who his father is. He's almost in his 50s. These old people have lied. A lot of old people are liars. Old lying niggas. Don't let the gray hair fool you. It isn't how old you are. It's how much character you have. And old niggas that had no character are nothing but old thugs and hoes that can't crip and bang like they once did because of limitations of their flesh.
Brother Twiz, that's a lot, but go ahead, you got the last.
I mean, he's 100% correct, because just because you old don't make you an elder. He's 100% correct. Man, you know, hey, everything that I had to say, he answered it just by his speech and his spirit. So, hey, Dr. Lancaster-Short, I don't have nothing else to say. You know what I'm saying? So I'll pass the mic to brother to the Negro. Go ahead.
Hey, Negro, you got the flow. You in the community kitchen. When you know this is the Angry Black Man Book Club time, Dr. Short be all, man.
We're very angry today.
Yeah, man, Dr. Short was out here doing windmills and karate kicks and stuff. Like, look out there, brothers and sisters. With that being said, I sent you guys a couple of things in the back channel, specifically dealing with the Black Panthers. I don't think you guys may be aware that they were a part of the military during World War II. All right, that's where the origins, one could say, that the Black Panthers have started from. If you keep that in mind, that if it was an extension of the government per se, and then you can parallel that with Black Lives Matter and their behavior, that both of them are socialism, both of them have Luciferian ties, both of them don't believe black men leadership. Like, you could run through a checklist between Black Lives Matter.
And brother, you're right. Angela Davis is the spiritual mother of Black Lives Matter. The guy who started Black Lives Matter is a Jew from the Weathermen, whose name is Eric Mann, if I'm correct. He lives in California now. Eric Mann was in the Weathermen. The Weathermen were the white communist allies of the Black Panther Party. So there's a direct link. Fag Lives Matter, whatever you want to call that shit, it's all connected. It truly is. People seem to forget Bayard Rustin. He was a communist. All of this degeneracy comes from a lot of people on the left. I'm not saying people on the right like us, they don't give a damn. But this stuff came through the left. It's often aligned with GCP. It's always aligned with GCP. Even our gangster rap, GCP, porn, there is a link. That's why it's spiritual, going back to what Brother Juan said. And folk don't like it. When black folks were on their square and they looked to at least scripture as foundational to guide them to navigate America, even when they couldn't get into the universities, we got further. What the GCP and everybody else, the communists, all of them, like you're saying, they hate one specific thing: the Bible. And that is inclusive of these Pan-Africanists, heal the world and forget Black America. These people all hate the Bible. The Luciferians, the folks doing witchcraft, the folks into crystals, the folks into yoga. It's all anti-Bible. You'll have to ask yourself, why does everything, communists, socialists, anarchists, Nazis, all hate one thing? Could it be because it's the ultimate truth?
That's crazy. Negro, you got the rest of it. You got 15 seconds or so.
Yeah, I just wanted to share. I shared that both of the links in the back channel for you guys, so you guys can look at what I'm talking about. So that if anybody has a problem about what I'm saying, I do have two sources and articles to support the perspective and the review that I'm presenting here, because it's a much dangerous theory that's out there that war is both spiritual and physical by nature. And I feel like the government is very aware of those type of principles. And we're always going to be used as their guinea pigs. That's a sad and harsh reality at this moment until we get our reparations and our just due. With that being said, like Black Lives Matter, I look at the Black Panthers were a precursor towards all that we see today. And it's not, and it's the reasons why you hear about the Black Panthers over the Deacons of Defense. And I'll drop that right there for you guys.
Interesting, from the Negro. Ladies and gentlemen, and Brother Negro, I appreciate that. I'm going to share that receipt shortly. I have a receipt myself that I want to, actually, we want to finish playing out my brother here, Damon. Now, he was spitting hella game for us. And I think it is important that we bring it back to what this brother was saying, because he opened it up for us. So let's keep on getting this build in with him, because he's saying some prevalent shit here.
So I mean, you got to understand, I came back to the world from the jungle when the Haight-Ashbury, the hippies, I hate to use that cliche, hated the government, everything about the government. They hated Nixon. They wanted to stop that war over there in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And the feminist movement has killed it. And these women walking around here, they're not being taught by their mothers to be wives.
to kind of reflect on your work, you know.
I gotta stop right there. Hold on. I'm gonna go to my brother Lone Wolf on this. Brother Lone Wolf. Brother Demond Wilson says the new age woman is not being taught by their mom to be wives, Brother Juan. Now, listen, for me, it has a lot to do with the lack of the nuclear family, right? It's non-existent. It's almost as endangered as a fucking a whale at this stage of the game, and you know they're being raised by single mothers who don't have the opportunity to deal with the trauma that they experienced with past experiences because they weren't necessarily taught how to be a woman. I know this direct because I've seen it myself, you know, and some of these women they just exist, Brother Juan. So what are your thoughts about what our brother has said about women not being trained to be wives?
Well, like I said before, when there's an offspring, there's a root.
Mm.
We're not looking at the offspring of not wanting to be a wife or not being uh, taught or trained to be a wife. It comes from the root. We get a lot of women out here who promote everything but wifehood.
Baby killing.
Okay? So I'm not surprised about what I see because, again, anytime you see an offspring, you got to ask the question, where is the root? If our women are not being taught to be wives, it's because their mothers are not teaching them to be wives. They don't see a value in being a wife. But they fail to realize that communities, civilizations come from families, not partners. What the hell is a partner? A partner is somebody that you go on business with. I'm talking about families.
Say that one more time for him, Brother Juan.
A partner is somebody you go in business with. I'm talking about families, marriage. So yes, our children, our women, our young women right now are not being taught to be wives. They're not being taught to clean, not just the house, but themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
And to screw on requests like a concierge at a hotel. Not when you don't feel. When I don't feel like it whenever he asks, and it's rape if you help yourself.
When I look at some of these social media videos with these youngins speaking, these young girls speaking, I always have to interject my age into the equation. I'm 55. And you got 25, 30-year-olds telling you how to be ratchet, what they're not going to do. Where did they get that from? Well, from my trained eyes and me going into the neighborhood and seeing that the police was the surrogate for these women who didn't have these men, who wasn't training these girls to be wives, to love their husbands, to raise their children. That's the farthest thing from their mind is to be a wife. They want to get the bag. They have a short-term, let me say this right. I want to say this thing right. They do not put value on family. Think about that. They want to get it for themselves
Mm-hmm.
at the expense of everybody, even the community, even the sisterhood.
And that's how they can leave the baby in the hot car. That's how they can do a girl's weekend out and leave minors at home with no food, with nothing. How you can
But
have strangers watch your minors.
I study warfare, and I understand that when in times of war, when the conqueror comes in and he wins, the spoils of war is not just the gold and the silver, it's the women.
And the
Come on.
children. And the children.
But not even the children.
No, they
because
screw the children too, brother, in warfare, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
They
that's
will
part of it.
They will kill that woman's child and take her off, and she would go and have children by that conqueror and love that conqueror like she was supposed to love the conqueror that killed her child.
Oprah.
Okay? These folks are, look, man, we look, we have some major challenges ahead of us. I see a lot of people going to be by the wayside.
My.
A lot of them, all ages. Because again, we're in the time of war right now. We're funding 2 wars, right? And then we got a war on our borders, right? So we're in war, but we're talking about entertainment. But eventually, we're going to war. And watch what I tell you. They're gonna flee. They're gonna run so fast back there to their femininity, but it's gonna be too late. They already have a record of disrespect in place. Come on.
Well, Brother Juan, it says, and God closed the door of the ark. God did it. God closed the door. The cut off people, God's separating you from the sludge. God's going to do it. Some of us aren't married. Some of us are single, not because we don't want to be with someone. It's just nuts. God separated, and there's going to be a great sorting out. By the way, I was doing a show. I think it was with you, Brother Juan, and maybe it was with Brother Quentin. And the woman was in my age with 3 kids and was interested. And I told her, oh, no, dear. No. These women see men as an accessory. After I've done everything I want, oh, yeah, I need a husband. No.
See, we need to bring back shame.
Well, no, we're bringing it back. Patriarchy is hated because patriarchy created standards.
Yes.
Okay, so if I said you, the woman apostle and I had a disagreement of which I didn't care because, look, I'm not trying to beg for sex or whatever. So if we don't get along, and I love sisters, but I hate pork chop feminism. I completely hate it. I will not tolerate it. In any conversation, I'm not going to be diplomatic. If I encounter pork chop feminism, I'm going to fight like my life counts on it. And I told this lady the problem in our community is that we lost the most important B word of all, and it's not bitch, it's bastard. We must bring the word bastard back and get it in the mouths of people, because one of the things that kept things in check was the shame of being a mother of bastards, being a father of bastards, and kids they would fight to keep the family together because they didn't want to be seen as bastards. Once you took all that off, well, we just receive all the children, all this. It's always some woman saying this shit. Or we just love every bullshit. If you ever seen women, they won't kiss certain babies because the baby's ugly. Women discriminate more than anybody. I mean, they'll tell you they won't talk to a man if he's not 6'1". A man will talk to a woman 3 feet tall if she's fine. These women tell you, I can't even look at a man unless he's 6'2", no matter what. He could be the perfect man. They have a standard that's so ridiculous. He has to have beer cans on his belly, this, that, and the other. And yet she weighs 900 pounds, okay? She looks like Jabba the Hutt with a thong on. But she wants a guy who goes to the gym, who eats right. You know, he has to be a vegan. And she lives in Domino's Pizza, okay? Patriarchy brought shame. And that's what it said, body shaming. The things that men like they want a woman in shape. Well, it's body shaming if you don't want 500 pounds of cellulite. Okay, it's not shaming when the women pass up fat men. No fat man that wants women to be interested in him isn't thinking about getting his hands on money, because fat is ugly. Fat is repellent. No one wants it, especially not women. They don't want a fat, greasy dude sweating on top of them and all. I mean, and in fact, he's more likely to find gold in her vagina than he is to find his own penis, because he's got so much belly. Women don't like it. But look at the double standard, and I blame black men, where we've made, oh, she's fat. No, she's not fat. She's a slob. We need to go back to ugly, fat, bastard, hoe, and it means something, as well as a man being a deadbeat, being pathetic. By the way, this woman got mad and says, well, I don't like the word bastard. It hurts people's feelings. It says, well, the Bible uses the word bastard. God sees bastards existing. I don't care what you think your spirit, you don't supersede God, person. Bastards are real, and you're out of order. And you've been hurt, your marriage broke up. Just because you had a problem in your life doesn't change the book and its standards. And I said, we don't have to agree. We don't even have to be friends after this conversation. But I don't call myself an apostle or a bishop or anything like that. I do call myself a believer, and I'm obligated to honor the word, even if I don't like it. Doesn't it say, let God be true and every man a liar? God's got it whether I know it or not. I said, so you are a higher authority than I am, so you say, and yet you're ready to throw the Bible out the window because your feelings. And it says, the scriptures say, who can know the heart is dark and desperately wicked. So when you hear these women say, my heart, your heart can lie. Your heart had you sleeping with Freddy Krueger and Kyle Rittenhouse. That's who your heart led you to, right? Heart don't mean nothing. We need principles. So the shame needs to come back. And part of where we used to get shame from, and I have to go there, is these sorry-ass nigger preachers like that punk T.D. Jakes and Creflo Dollar. The only thing they want open is women's pocketbooks, not their hearts. They don't care a thing about the spiritual development of anybody. They care about the bottom line and keeping their private lives quiet. Eddie Long is a student.
Hold on, Brother Short. Hold on. Are you saying the church is a failure?
Let me clarify. The owners of religious real estate that conduct what reports to be Christian services is a failure, and it has been so for 40 years, if not 100. And it agrees. There's some that may be successful, but I would say these days, what you call a church is nothing but a not-for-profit business. It's no different from the Red Cross. It's no different from the gay human rights campaign. They're all 501c3 things. It's about profits. It's about pensions. It's about, it has nothing to do with holiness, has nothing to do with God. All of you who think you hate Christianity or what it is, you've never seen it. The crap that those people pushing up at the AME church, cheering on that predator Biden, that's not God, that's Lucifer. So they have real estate with the spire, which represents a penis. So you have a building with a dick on it, and you're going to get close to God. Oh my. I mean, 90% of what you see, if you go into a church, has nothing to do with anything in the Bible. And especially tithing. Don't give any of those niggas your money. You don't owe anybody but God.
Hold on, Brother Shaw. Hold on, I got you now. Now, who funds this church though?
The majority of the people that enable these no-good liar, predators, self-hating, backstabbing, traitor Negroes are black women. Black women subsidize this Babylonian Baal worship cabal of lying grifter preachers. It's basically a institution that blows smoke up the ass of black women that can't find men.
Sounds like just how they fund Chinese stores for that.
And well, our sisters fund everything that's killing us. They even buy the poisonous products from the Chinese, and when their hair falls out, and we don't want to be seen with them because it looks strange to have a bald-headed woman, right? You're shaming them. You should have been ashamed to shop when black women used to make hair care products. They won't even patronize other sisters because there is no goddamn sisterhood. Sisterhood only exists to destroy black men and to kill black children. It does not exist to protect women, to get them income, to get them health care, to protect them from disparities when they're delivering children. The sisterhood exists only to be against God, to be against men, to be against motherhood. That's what the sisterhood, and to run after white men and white women, and sometimes people of other races. That's what the sisterhood is for. It's not worth a goddamn thing. It never has been.
Jeez, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta go to Lone Wolf. We got our brother Lone Wolf in here, who is an ordained, ladies and gentlemen, ordained. Brother Lone
Well,
Wolf,
I'm not ordained because I'm not going to marry two men or two women. That's why I didn't get ordained. That's the church. You want 6 figures? If you just marry, say you'll marry 2 dudes. I mean, that's just, shit, don't touch me. In fact, I don't want you to touch me. You guys want to do this kind of stuff? You mean you're going to put your hands on me and say I can speak of what the Bible is, and you guys support baby killing and all this other? Hell, keep your hands off me. I may catch something. Nah. Being ordained, it should be called ordained, because you end up having to do what other people do in them damn religious buildings called churches, which is a misnomer. You have to go along to get along, which means whatever these dumb fools or a bunch of semi-literate grifters, some of them ex-criminals that found it was a hustle, they went from pimping to preaching. It was twice the money, tax-free, and 10 times the pussy. That's why they're in the ministry.
I'm gonna drop another scripture since I'm all in right now. So look, if you subscribe to the scriptures, whether you are Muslim, Judaism, or Christian,
GCP.
there's a scripture in Genesis says, Genesis 3:16, after the fall of man and woman, right? It says, unto the woman, he said, I will greatly mortify thy sorrows in thy conception in sorrow. So let's talk about bring forth children. And it says, and thy desire shall be to your husband, but he shall rule you.
Come on.
Let me say this right now. So we don't preach that anymore.
Come on.
Your desire shall be to your husband. And why would God say, and he shall rule you?
I had a dream.
See, we're dealing with folks, feminism, that is in direct opposition to the word, to God. That scripture did not have to be mentioned. But he shall rule you. That whole word desire means you're going to try to rule him, but he going to rule you. They're going back to that natural direction, that nature. It's always there. Okay? Just go to Genesis 3:16 and you will see it for yourself. Your desire to rule your husband, but he gonna rule you. And that's the problem right there. They don't want instructions, and especially by you. And it's a fight in their nature for instructions. Okay? So if anybody got a problem with that scripture, you ain't got a problem with me. You got a problem with God.
Mm-hmm. Sure enough.
Because you can all this going to church, looking for a word, all this going for prophecy.
Brother, they're not looking for a word. They go to the church with the dresses so short so the pastor can see the crotch of their drawers up on the front row. That's the word they're trying to get. I've seen this with my own. No. Those are folk are the biggest freaks, the biggest, nastiest folks that I know go to church. The reason I don't have a huge body count is I don't go to church all the time. There's some, You know, there were women in church fighting.
Come on,
The church, the church is a brothel full of Luciferian demons. Those places, because they're not about holy living. I wish
I'm
they
just saying,
were.
fella,
Mm-mm.
I've left you with these three scriptures that you can stand on to any woman, any color, any ethnicity, any religion. I'm looking at three scriptures. Genesis 3:16. Okay? That you can stand on to tell them, well, what do you think about this? Why would God say, but he shall rule you? Because they want to rule so bad. But in Western society, you see what's going on right now. They're not accountable. Look at what's going on in Atlanta right now with the DA.
Oh, you mean rerun from what's happening? Her name is Fanny.
Accountability from the sisters holding that sister accountable for messing up a case against the president because she couldn't keep her in place.
She's Greek, and so all that witchcraft and those secret societies, it's witchcraft, it's sorcery.
And watch this. I saw her at the church, right?
Mm-hmm.
The boomer church, because I saw a lot of old heads on that stage.
Mm-hmm.
Talk that talk.
Boomers and the silent generation, because they silent for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
They allowed her to literally
contaminate,
challenge God. If you see what she said, the righteous indignation that rose up in me, because how dare you get in the pulpit and ask God why this happened, giving your resume, yet you decided to have your jump off. Mess up a marriage. That's why she's being subpoenaed. They're going to open it. That marriage was sealed between the guy she used. They're going to unseal it because she was the person responsible for messing up that marriage. And the silence is definitely from the sisterhood.
Because a lot of them are doing that. Let's just be honest, black men. If you're walking down the street by yourself, a lot of sisters won't even say hello to you. They're not talking about anything inappropriate, just speak, won't even acknowledge you. But be walking with another black woman and you feel like you're a superstar. You feel like you're Lenny Kravitz. You feel like you're Michael Jackson. Just be seen in the presence of another woman, and all of a sudden, that's including church, the women began competing. Not so much they want the man, but I call it vagina jousting. You know how in the King Arthur movies, they try to knock the other off the horse with their long lance? Well, the women, I guess it's a clitoris, and they try to knock the other woman off to get the man. Not because they want the man, but because they want to show the other woman that her vagina packs more punch than hers. And that these women will try to screw a man into submission. Basically, they're using sex magic. And so these women would never speak to you. You could be a man, go to church, not even talk to you as a same. See you with the woman, and they're all looking. I had a situation where there's a church mother. This woman's like 20 years older than me. The women at that church started hating her because I made friends with this older woman. I was asleep with her. The woman had a messed up leg and everything, false teeth. Maybe she gave great blowjobs back in the day. I wasn't bothering her. The women at church wanted they started hating her because I became friendly to someone female in the church. And then it got explained to me this woman had a crooked ass that looked like a question mark, had told all the women she would be screwing me in a matter of weeks. I didn't know that. They never spoke to me, but I ran into her in a restaurant with the older woman, and that lady nearly had a meltdown. We had to leave, and it's just what happened. I'm just with the sister I know from church. I'm not groping this old woman who walked with her back, with her spine problems and all that, with the cane. And that woman thought I was screwing the old woman with maybe the false teeth was, the hedge that she had. God, but would never speak to me when they would see me one-on-one, but only had an interest in me when they saw me with another woman. There are a lot of women that have no interest in a man unless they can have drama to unseat another woman. This is how they operate. They talk about the unfaithful men, and okay, but there are a whole bunch of unfaithful whore ass women out there. Lots. They're in abundance.
Well, brother Short, let me say this. When I was off the market, okay. When I was on the market, right, doing my thing, I found that women are some of the most competitive.
Yes, vagina jousting.
It's crazy. I mean, when you got them out there competing for you, a lot of niggas. Listen. I'm gonna keep it 100 about this, and then I'm gonna let Brother Juan finish his thought. A lot of niggas have never had women compete for his companionship. A lot of niggas have never lived that life, and some, others have. But I'm gonna tell you, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit if you got a woman. If you
They
got a woman,
because if my pussy's better than the one that you got, I can make that dude. And you know who else will do that? Gays. The women and the gays are the same thing. They'll see something and try to break up a union to prove the sex that they had supersedes what the other person's getting. Women and gays do the exact same thing. Oh yes, they do.
And that's my thing. I am, understanding, some of the motives, because see, here's that other thing, that sisterhood shit. Well, I mean, listen, I've never heard a man talk as bad about a woman as I've heard women talk bad about other women. I mean, they drag them in the fucking ground. You understand me? So listen, but that's just me, Brother Juan, sir. You got the last bit here. Finish your thoughts, sir.
I'm just saying, again, you need to find out the offering you got to go to. And I think that you don't have to like my affiliation with my belief system. And you don't have to respect it. But you can't deny what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, God is real. I don't care what nobody says. God's real. The scripture's real. Whole bunch of folks are gonna find themselves on their knees because the dollar could go. A lot of stuff could go. Pork chop feminism's gonna go. What you gonna have to lean on? You better find out about God. Better run while you can find it. They're about to take it all away from everybody. Folks are gonna have to hide what they believe. If you don't believe anything. And the rate of suicides is going to the ceiling for black children, for black men, and for black women. Talk about all these successful, strong black killing themselves left and right, or they're dying in a cowardly way with drug overdoses to hide the fact that they were tired of living. And there are a lot of black folk out here who are miserable. They're just living dead. You don't live for anything and definitely don't want to live for God. Even though, you've got erectile dysfunction or whatever. It's amazing. It's amazing, man. Oh my God.
If I didn't care for these sisters and my people, I wouldn't say nothing. King said that there comes a time when silence is betrayal.
Silence is betrayal.
And so I can't sit back on the sideline and know what the root problem is and don't say nothing. I'm telling the sisters, if you're hearing me, I need you to get back in fellowship with your God. I need you to get back in fellowship with your man.
And your sisters. And I mean that in a positive way. Sisterhood, like what the Bible shows with Naomi and Ruth, that the feminists have made into a gay relationship. Everything is gay. Whenever two people the same sex get along, that's gay too. That's the other thing. These women, they don't want to love you when they're your roommate, partner, and you can't have any buddies either. And so everybody's gay if you don't do what they say, and yet they've got women slobbering on each other and they're just sisters. We need each other as brothers and sisters within the proper context of what those friendships and relationships are about, as well as old and young. And without it, we're in a lot of trouble. As it says, love neighbor as self. This idea of compassion for one another is a commandment. By the way, that's proof that those religious real estate buildings where they don't love nobody, they don't help nobody, they're not doing it. If you gave a damn about people, I don't care how big your church is, it would show that you really believe something in the surrounding community. You shouldn't be walking, stepping on your neighbors and veterans to get into a house of, supposedly a house of worship, or a worship, which is what really goes on.
So,
Go
so
ahead,
I'm
brother.
saying,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Forgive me, because, this feminist had me pissed off.
I'm gonna say this. I think that again, because again, I don't hide from the teachings because I know the teachings work if you work it. Again, I would not have did the career I did if I wasn't rooted and grounded in the teachings. And I'm not talking about just plantation preachers that most folks listen to. I don't listen to these plantation preachers. Very clear. I don't even subscribe to colonial Christianity. I don't subscribe to that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what I. That's not what I subscribe
That's
to.
coon. That's coon religion. It's actually not Christianity. It's a cult. It's a death cult. I just had to say this straight, that what most people have been told is the Christian faith for Black Americans has its roots in the Compromise of 1727, where the society, where the head of the Church of England, the Episcopal Church, which is the national church, your national cathedral is Episcopalian. The Church of America is the Episcopal Church. The Anglican Church is the English version of the American Episcopal Church. It's basically British Catholicism. And the head of the English Church, the Anglican Church, Godwin Morgan, basically came up with a fake doctrine that most of us subscribe to, that becoming a Christian means that nothing in your life changes no matter what until you get to heaven. So as a result, the Black church in America is a death cult. It is not a love, compassion, and life faith. You get people who understand it studying on their own, but the desire to have a fake Christianity that taught Blacks to see whites as superior, themselves as inferior, they deserve to be slaves, and no reparation or payment until you died. This is the faith of white evangelicals and all the coon sellout Black denominations that run after ecumenical relations with the people who continue to practice this heresy in this present day. It has nothing to do with God. All of it is under a curse. Either you do what God's word says in full, or you've broken it all. So Martin Luther King, even with his pants unzipped, did more for poor people than all these folks who are criticizing him, like that fat, greasy Negro down in North Carolina who called Dr. King a communist and an inferior pastor. And my comment, if you recall, Brother Juan, is I wish he hated being obese as much as he hated Dr. King. He'd be healthy.
Well, again, a lot of times I don't speak on certain things because there is no system in place to deal with these traitors. This is not. So I don't really talk on them. But again, I just need folks to just take time out, just listen. There is a solution. We do have an answer.
Mm-hmm.
There's no society built that didn't stand on some type of spiritual principle. They led with a spiritual principle, a word. So I'm just trying to share with you guys, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm not ashamed of standing on the principle. Our women are out of order because they don't love God.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up. Oh.
And our men are out of order because they love vaginas more than they love God or women. or children.
And I'll say it again. Our women are out of order because they don't love God.
Mm-hmm. That's right. They're God haters. It's true. Pork chops hate God.
The scripture says this. Because I guess that Jesus foresaw the future. He said, a new commandment I give unto thee.
Love.
That you love one another as I have loved you. And by this love, all men should know that ye are my disciples. I'm not seeing the love. You're not seeing the love. All we're seeing is hate. So if you're seeing hate, that means you don't have love. And I'm 10 toes down again. They don't have love. Matter of fact, I would rather for you to like me now than to love me. Because if you like me, you'll tolerate me. Because everybody's saying they throw love out there like they go on fishing. Do you like me? They don't even like their man.
They're fishing for the bag.
Well, look, I posted the other day. There's nothing wrong with the bag, but there's another bag. It's a happiness bag. It's a health bag. There's a love bag. There's a success bag. There's a prosperity bag.
A sex toy bag.
And there's this money bag. Don't just stop. Don't just settle for that one bag. It's a couple of bags to get.
Come on.
Okay? Get that health bag. Because you can have all the money in the world, but if you ain't healthy, you won't get to enjoy it. Steve Jobs. I had a dream. Steve Jobs, one of the richest men in the world, died at 55, 56.
We don't miss him.
I don't have to miss him. I'm just saying that in the bigger scheme of things, you can have all the money and have bad health. Get the health bag. Get the happiness bag also. They're not healthy. They're out of weight. They're not happy. They're always complaining. They don't have love. Come on, man. Whether the offspring, there's a root. And they don't want to hear stuff like, they don't want to hear this. Because they don't want to deal with accountability.
Amen.
Hey, Brother Juan, they said the only bag that matters is the Birkin bag.
And if they ain't careful, the only bag that will matter is the bag and they ain't gonna corner.
You mean the body bag?
The body bag.
Okay, well, you know, the grocery bag matters. That's the bag they're interested in. That's one bag that they want, aside from the money bag.
Groceries are expensive these days.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you talk about Wegmans Plus. You got a Costco card, a Sam's Club card.
I just want the listeners to, as we say in our circles, change your mind, which is you need to repent.
Repent.
Turn around.
And quit feminism.
God, get under your man's protection. Because guess what? If you don't listen to me, I ain't got to protect you.
That's right. They're outside the ark of the protection.
Hold on. I need Brother Juan to say that one more time, sir.
If you don't, you need to repent, turn back to God if you're a female. Because if you don't listen to me, I don't have to protect you. Protections come with submission.
Don't say that S word.
Protection comes with submission.
Yes, submission. I mentioned it earlier.
Okay.
And service with that submission.
The proof of love is the willingness to protect. But if you believe for my covering from under me, then you get what you deserve. I will walk over you. Especially if I told you, don't go this way. We're not going to entertain this. If you feel the need to come from under my protection, my umbrella, you do it at your own demise. That's what a man do. I'm going to land this plane.
And Chef C, let the other brothers go, but I know I've got to do Bible study in a few. So I'm going to have to leave y'all. And we have to do a part 2 to this, Chef
Because
C.
we didn't even really get into
We haven't gotten into that.
we really ain't. I got a lot of shit in. This was jam packed. But I know you got your regulars. So we
Yes,
got
I know we have to do Bible study for us us bad people that believe in fairy tales. We can't wait till we have our fairy tale story time. For all the atheists out there, I like my Bible. I love it. I love reading it. And the more I read the Bible, the more I don't like atheists. You know, atheists, y'all are such losers, man. So I can't wait until I read my book of myths and fairy tales. I really love it. In fact, the biggest fairy tale is that stuff that you let them inject you with, and y'all thought y'all better off. As I told someone, he says the Bible that was written by men. And I said, a man invented the vaccine. Your sorry ass too. You believe in that? So good, so good.
Well, I will
I
say this
got
thing,
you.
brothers, ladies, and gentlemen. I will say we get ready to wrap it down with Brother Short, how you look tomorrow? We gonna have the part 2 this week.
We can do part 2. We can do it 6 o'clock. I feel nice.
So we do a part 2.
Jesus Christ. So
So
nice.
Negro, and my brother Twiz, you got your final thoughts.
I saw Brick Lady in the title, so I wanted to bring up something from Brick Lady in the future. It's amazing how some of the women in our community donated and supported her, but they will not support and donate to a black man's business, especially a man that they're laying down with. You know, that just senses a problem and very traitorous that they're willing to support this evil woman, but not support a black man business that can empower her and her family. That's absurd to me. That's kind of crazy. So I'll definitely be back here at 6 o'clock if I can. Lord willing.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the Negro. Happening, brother Twiz, sir. You got the flow, brother Twiz.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I just want to say, man, this is beautiful, man. Like I said before, and I say it again, it's something that we really need to do. You know, we need to have a Saturday sit down where grown men can talk and come together because we have to start it somewhere. Every fire comes from the spark. Like Juan was saying, you know, it all has its roots and everything has its seeds. So we finna start it right here. Because we need grown men to speak. You know, I see it ain't too many grown men around that has the balls to talk like this. You know what I'm saying? So hey, Dr. Short, I appreciate your time. Same thing with you, Juan. You know, same thing with the brothers in here. And I'm looking forward to it next week, man. Because hey, as we men, we all we got. So that's where we stand. We all we got.
Well, we got God and we got each other.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes. Well, again, I just want to say this. I have no problem in sharing and accept my role in the earth as an elder. It's always been this way. But again, as I put the work in, man. You know, I want so much for our people. Again, I know there's people out here who can imagine a world without us. Say this again. There are a lot of people who can imagine a world without Black Americans. But I can't imagine a world without Black Americans. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that we stay around here. I don't talk a whole lot because I know what I do is very critical. You know, I'm out here training folks how to defend themselves against foreign and domestic enemies. Because again, we just may have to take arms one day. I just may have to protect not just myself, but my family. Not just my family, my friends. Maybe the neighborhood I'm in, maybe the city I'm in, maybe the county I'm in, and maybe the state, and just maybe the nation. Okay? Again, because when this thing goes down, because it's going down. It's going down. They're not going to ask you, are you words. There's one. There's one. There he is over there. So I want you guys, ladies and gentlemen, to be serious about becoming responsible gun owners, gun users.
Mm-hmm.
It's not talking about this word today. Trust me.
Tell them about the discount.
You'll get 25% off.
Yes, if y'all need to learn how to shoot somebody in self-defense. Okay, and I'm sorry.
If you want to learn how to stop the threat.
Okay, well, deter threat. Well, I wanted to put an added zest to it. If y'all want to be safe, okay, I'll make it punkified. If y'all want to be safe, there is a discount. Y'all need to get in touch with Lone Wolf. Y'all can email me. I will put you in touch so you can get personal training. You can be expeditious. You never know when you're going to face a Kyle Rittenhouse or some pathological Negro that needs to see a mortuary in real time. You can just reach out to us. We believe in the whole gospel, the soul body. So God, gold, and guns too. In fact, and I prefer God in first order. If you get the guns, you can hold on to the gold. Amen.
That is true.
So yeah.
That is true. Again, for me, it's about reintroducing you to something that you have a right to. Your Second Amendment is not a suggestion; it's a right. I want you to embrace it wholeheartedly, even though when it was written, you was not a part of the plan. Because of the blood in the soil, the sacrifice of the ancestors, we embrace the Second Amendment and the Constitution because we're not letting those folks from the border come over here and embrace it when our blood is in the soil. It's our blood in the soil.
And it's our damn country. It's not theirs.
Okay? So again, I need you to become responsible gun owners and users. I need you to keep tuning into on their necks, the bloodline. I need you to listen to Dr. Short because guess what? These voices are not your legacy networks. These voices are the voices that are in the wilderness crying out, telling you the truth with no chaser. No chaser. And you need this. You need this. We're not lying to you. I have a lot to lose. But I'm all right with it. I've lost a lot. But I've gained more. So with that said, I want to thank you, Brother Chef, for the invite. I want to thank all the brothers that's on the panel and all those who are listening. You are special. You are appreciated. And you are loved. Okay? But you got to accept it. Because I can tell you all day, but you got to accept it. No, you know what? There are some I am my brother's keepers out there. I do care for you. Okay? With that said, I want to thank you again. Look forward to the next broadcast. I'm going to land this plane.
Well, Chef, I got a song. Oh, I love it.
Hold on. Go ahead, Brother Juan. Where you want him to go, Brother Juan?
Go to lwftraining.com. Sign up. If you can't get there, wherever you're listening to this broadcast, go to anybody who's a responsible instructor who can help you to become responsible gun owners and gun users. It's just that serious. I made my plan with it.
Yes, sir. And Brother Dr. Short, I'm going to say my piece, and then you can take it on out since this is the Angry Black Man's Book Club, Pat Talk number 7. So let me say my piece, and then you take us on out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go over to On Their Necks and subscribe on their next podcast on YouTube. That is my platform over here. I joined the Angry Black Man's Book Club today for Pat Talk number 7. This is part 1, and we'll do part 2 tomorrow at 6 p.m. on the follow-up, y'all, because there's just so much shit here that I had lined up. Nonetheless, also go to From the Soil TV on YouTube and go ahead and subscribe, and also go to our website as well, FromTheSoil.tv. Check everything out over there. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the private platform. We are filming season 2. and it will be releasing in April. So keep your eyes out for the latter end of April. That will be releasing, which is going to be fly. I think everybody make sure you like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Brother Dr. Short, can you take us on out of here on this strong Pap Talk number 7?
Well, I mean, I feel good. So, you know, I was thinking the James Brown song. I mean, God is good. God is good now. God is good. He's so good now. So good. So good. God bless you. Jesus nice. Jesus Christ. So good. Okay, I gotta go, y'all. Hey! I wish I had a sax.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll say this.
Well, you know what we say? You know when we put the verse in for one. We got one. No more firearms. Nobody can do you no harm. And when you got no more firearms, nobody's gonna do you no harm. And I feel, I'm sorry. We can put a verse in there for one, man. I'm gonna do an advertising song for him. We gotta go. Angry black men and women, I want to thank all of you that participated. Please like, share, subscribe, donate. We got more people. I got a Black Panther that's supposed to come. We have a bunch of people. You know, it got cold. So as we kick off our new season, and notice it's a bunch of black men. There's 5 of us, and in reality, I can have up to 10 people. You're going to see Pat Talk will grow. It's more than just Chef and I. Walk together, children. Don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land. You can't get to the promised land unless you're right with God. Pray for people, love people, but most importantly, know God, read the Bible, avoid cults, get out of drugs, self-hatred, stupid sexual practices, and help one another, because I'm telling you, judgment's coming, and this nation's under judgment. And you know, if white folk are under judgment, our asses are going to hurt if we don't have ourselves together. Wake up, clean up while there's time. Pray for your sisters, be the best persons that you can, and the only way you can do that is with God's intervention in this toxic land that we live in and these toxic times. With that having been said, on behalf of the Angry Black Men's Book Club, based here in Washington, D.C., in my basement, and with my cat that hates my tambourine, therefore it will not disrupt me, I want to wish you a blessed night, a blessed week. I want to remind you that we will be doing our Sabbath worship as we continue with God's message to Black Americans on Shabbat, aka Sabbath, on Saturday. It will be at least 2 hours where we go to the Bible to look at how jacked up our people are, but what the way is. There's always a way with God to leave. So we will do part 2 of a series that will run through March, looking at what is God saying to Black Americans. I do not believe in a queer, blonde-haired L'Oreal, blue-eyed Jesus. If you do, you're stupid ass. Okay, he would have died of skin cancer long before the Romans got to him. So, we're going to be talking about the Bible from the black perspective of salvation. Yes, the cleaning up, leaving the sin and the nasty, foul living that so many of us are in. We need salvation, and therefore, when you have salvation, liberation makes sense. We've been doing it backwards. We've been trying to get liberation, and we'll pick up salvation later. That's a big mistake. It's a big betrayal of the crooked Negro preachers and the cultist Negroes. So we'll be addressing the issues of scam Africanism, black self-hatred, black men not sticking together, and pardon my language, but the whole sin, the curse of brother fuckers. This must go, as well as pork chop feminism, the faggotists, and the simps. So may God bless and keep you, and may his face shine upon you, give you peace. You want to look for some place where people are honest, whether you're a coon buster, whether you're a patriarch, and I want all the men to be patriarchs, and I want women to be women again, you can come to this channel. And we don't care about what anybody thinks until they take this damn channel down. And y'all know they've taken like 4 of mine. And I will simply just do another one. I don't care. I believe in God. I believe in black freedom. I want my MFM, which stands for motherfucking money. We want our reparations in Jesus' name. If Jesus could get it off of Zacchaeus' behind in Luke 19, we can get it in America in 2024. With that, I'm signing off. Again, God bless and keep you. May His face shine upon you, give you peace. Hello to you wherever you are in the country. In particular, it's nice to hear from people down in Alabama. Let's work together. If you have ideas, if you have people that you'd like for us to talk to, or authors, I will go back to books. I have a couple of my books right here. I want to do something on Edward Bernays, talking about propaganda and how they manipulate people. I'm trying to think where I put them. I have so many books up in here. Oh, it's back here. Let's show you some of the books I just got recently. And we're going to be talking about, again, I still want to go back to eugenics and racism and so forth. This is one really good book, The Psychology of Totalitarianism. And if you ever have a question about a book, you can always email me at wrandyshort. This is a very short book. It's cheap. You can get it on Amazon. Propaganda by Bernays. It talks about how they've messed black people and everybody up, how they've got people controlled. We're going to probably do a little bit of that tomorrow. Crystallization of public opinion, which is also by Bernays, the nephew of Sigmund Freud. A lot of us are manipulated. All this stuff happened with pork chops and everything. This is a trick. A trick. This is one of these things I'll probably use for Sabbath, the Negro and the Holy Writ, talking about how we are the chosen people. Please don't listen to ignorant people. And one of the other things I'll be doing along in the future, this is the book that I got from Dr. Winters. I got to let you guys go. Got to do the Bible. I have to talk about Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus, because He first loved me. Even when racist and self-hating black people don't love me, Jesus does. So I stick with that. With that, I have to go. You guys take care. Stay out of trouble. Abortion is murder. I don't care who doesn't like it. And God made Adam and Eve, not Steve. A rectum will never be a vagina. And whatever your chromosomes are is what your sex is. Stop using the word gender. It's a setup. All right. I got to go. Bye. Love y'all. See you.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the system of white supremacy, as usual, you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. I'm Chef C, tapping out Angry Black Man's Book.